It is breezy today. It's 35 degrees and quite windy. Imagine it rained this morning. My daughter, I started the day off. Like one thing with this phone, when I take off the case and put it on the charger, it turns off my ringer. And so I missed her calls this morning because she's freaking out because worms came out. And for some reason, she's got a problem with worms. And so now I'm picking her up. I'm running slightly late. It's funny. They have they have programs at night here, or not at night, but after school programs, almost like after school daycare if you really look at it. Uh, and one of the workers, I always know, because if I get here before 3:20, I'll beat her. Or a lot of the times I'll see her at the same time. So today, and she's handicapped, so she has to have special parking, of course. And today I like just have to look over. There she is, and there was nobody behind me at the time. Because today, instead of being like the third car, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 car, and then of course it's all the way around. But I knew she would be coming, and then I happened to look up. Because as soon as I stopped, and then I looked over, there she was. I was like, "You're late today." So, and I would say that's the only negative is if anybody had to at this time have disability parking, handicap parking, it's all tied up because between the buses and the parents waiting, and it's silly. We should really be in the gym picking up our children like they did the last couple years. Uh, my son just texted me. He was commenting on the game with the Timberwolves winning last night. And did you check my video out of the lady? She only glued one hand to the court. I don't know. It's like there's some glue that will keep your skin on something. But again, in a rush thing, I think she was only able to get enough glue on her palm. That's what it looked like. But if you saw the close up, it looked quite kind of funny. It looked like another substance, which I won't mention. But they're going to have my car smell like smoke because they're cooking something over there. Yeah, I'm smelling that shit. Oh well, it'll go away. I got these what are these motherfuckers called anyway? So that was kind of, if you see my little short video, it kind of shows that. I guess somebody mentioned it was for PETA or something like that. And then Ciova, if you watched, I don't know if people, I should have shared it and I wasn't thinking, but we did a panel with Ciova last night, of course, about the East Coast shit. And, he live up there. And he says that YouTube has held it and erased the other dude's channel. But I thought Ciova did an excellent job of breaking down. And then as the panel came in and joined, and so Ciova says he's trying to reload it maybe on his second channel. So if anybody's interested, hey, what's up, Derek? What is going on? So if anybody's interested in that, once it's up, I'll try to share it. And I just wasn't thinking last night. But this is what we have to understand about almost all these stories. It's not that there's not a real element to part of it, because part of it is real, but the other part is when it's too much. Like when me and Super Sly broke down Emmett Till, it's too much. It's too much. It really did. When it's too much, it's not. There's elements that seem false when it's just too much. And then we know the 30 hours, again, the 3 is a coding. We know 13 injured at first is a coding. So I think the way to look at these stories is look at the coding in it. And you don't need to decode it any further. You don't need to match it with anything. You can look at the code and say, okay, this story is bullshit. I don't think it was Gorilla Glue, because Gorilla Glue would have stuck her ass down there. Hey, Dr. Sinister, what's happening? Yeah, if it had been Gorilla Glue, that shit would have stayed on there. Or she'd have did her clothes or some shit and just swat fell down. Man, in a quick thing, she the teacher sitting here. Man, I'm telling you, it's cold. I had to throw this Calvin Klein. I got my gloves on. I mean, I got the heat on. Heat don't need to be that high, but it's freaking cold. It's cold. But we see these stories, so you can see the fakeness in the story. And you can see that there's more to it. there's something not real about it, and that's the only way to look at it. You know, no emotional attachment. I mean, again, it is a run for the guns again, which ain't gonna go away, because it just does not make sense in a city that has some of the most strict gun laws in the nation. I mean, look what they did to Plexico Burris. They put him in jail for 2 years for shooting his stupid ass self. That's how strict the gun laws are. And even that story. I mean, who tries to carry a gun in your goddamn sweatpants? Some sweatpants hard enough to keep up with just the tie. And you go try to, what, a pistol without a holster? I mean, it'd been better just to get him a little light shoulder holster. Shit, for that matter, you can get one of the Velcro little, you know, waist things and have one of them. And there's so many other ways. Carry a smaller caliber. I mean, if you that worried about your life that you got to go up in the club with a gun and you're a pro football player, that's some stupid shit. But as I always, you know, picking up the daughter today, as always. And I think I'm a runner to see my mother, because my mother wants to see her with her new glasses, because she got glasses. And, you know, I wear glasses. It's just I can't. If I wear these, let me see. Maybe if I wear these, I can read. I can read the screen. The screen is like perfect where I can read it. Okay, I'll keep on the glasses. Then I can read the screen, because without I can't read the screen if I'm closer, but that's a good spot for it. So, and I wore glasses. I probably needed glasses at the same age, 9, 10. Not having glasses killed me in baseball, because at one point you got to see the ball, and I couldn't see the ball anymore. Like coming out of the pitcher's hand, I really couldn't trace the ball without glasses. I just needed glasses, because every other thing I excelled in baseball. And if I would have got glasses sooner, I probably would have played high school baseball too. I loved it that much. But without glasses, I couldn't hit anymore. And then the last year I played, I smashed this one, broke my finger into playing freaking, I think, artillery. I went to block a dude's, was throwing the ball, and I don't even know what we was playing where I could even block him from throwing the ball. So I don't even know what game we was playing. But when he followed through, he caught my finger, and it broke my finger. And then my coach thought it was just, you know, how the digit gets out, you can pop it back in. Well, that's what the coach thought. So when he pulled on it, he actually broke it again. So I ended up having 2 breaks in this finger in 8th grade. So whatever age that is, I was like 12, 13. Yeah, I was probably 13. And I played quarterback. Couldn't throw really after that. Had to have 2 pins in it. And I played baseball. I would try to hit like this. I went from really hitting the ball good to having to hit like this. Sneaking out the house. I wasn't supposed to play baseball, but my parents didn't even notice. This is how parents don't even notice. I put on full sweat gear. This is in probably early mid-June, but still summertime. I put on full sweat gear, long sleeve sweat top, long sleeve sweat pants over my baseball stuff. And I carried a bag which had my mitts in it. and not one time did my parents ever figure out I was playing baseball. And I wasn't supposed to be, because I could still catch. I couldn't play catcher, but I could still pitch. I could play in the outfield because I could still throw. But when I played football, I was throwing with 3 fingers, and so the ball used to flutter on me. My friend was like, "Man, you don't really throw bad balls all the time." One of my teammates as a freshman, but I couldn't really throw. It took me until college to be able to throw again. But months after surgery, I wasn't in the position, but my coach wanted me to play. I had glasses my entire life, and they were ever you would correct your vision in a few years. And so you would correct your vision in a few years. Yeah. Like they already put like my daughter didn't have stigmatism, but they already put because like I don't want that bifocal shit, and they put a slight bifocal in hers already. It definitely helps with the reading, because I'm doing this. Let me see if I can see that shit any clearer. And this is a few feet away. Okay. Hey, Conspiracy University, how you doing, man? I don't know if you got to see Sioba's the panel last night. It was a pretty good panel. And he said they took it down. So that's how it goes. But yeah, you're right. They tell you your eyes never get better. I don't know what I did in college because I broke my glasses in college and did not get glasses again for almost 10 years. So the whole time I worked for the city of Greensboro, driving and everything, I needed glasses. And I don't even know why I didn't get them. I had excellent insurance when I worked for the water department, and I could have afforded glasses, but I just didn't get them. I didn't get glasses again probably till 85 or 86. So I went from probably 80. So I went from 80 probably to 86 without glasses and needed them. And it even got to the point where I started hooping with contacts because I could see my teammates, but I couldn't make their faces. True story. I could see my teammates and I knew by their shape who they were, but I couldn't see their faces. Like if they was, behind half court and I'm at the free throw line, we're breaking the other way, I could see their bodies and, everything, but not their faces. So I got contacts and it helped a little bit. But with contacts, I couldn't read signs. It's like when I would drive with contacts, they weren't strong enough for me to see the sign compared to where I wear the glasses. So that's where contacts didn't really do me any good. And I couldn't get the motherfuckers in. My ex-wife used to put them in. I could take them out, but I couldn't put them in worth shit. So because of the driving, I don't really prefer them. And it's like the glasses that turn dark when you go outside are no good when you drive. They're not dark when you drive because the sun has to make them dark. So I think I'm getting another pair made, and I think I don't know. One year they just gave me some sunglasses, and I wore them all year round. They messed up, but the glasses was dope, and I remember reffing them. They're like, "Take off the sunglasses" if I had a bad call. And people like, "Take off those sunglasses," because I remember I had broke my other pair, so I had to wear that pair, and that pair was tinted too dark. And when I was a cop, I always wore orange tint because orange tint is for shooting, but it's also for driving. So when I was a cop, I always kept an orange tint. Because I found a picture from when I was 30. And I forgot all about wearing the orange tint glasses. And orange tint definitely helps at night. It kills the lights. And now, a lot of the lights on the newer cars are blue, so it doesn't hurt you as much. And I think that's part of stigmatism with the lights. And then I'm gonna have to get my cataracts. I woke up one night, I was kind of half drunk, went to sleep, woke up, couldn't stop the double vision. And that's cataracts. So in the next 10 years, I'll probably have to have cataract surgery like my mother had. I hate that I can read people's mind. I want to get out and beat this dude's ass. The dude who keeps the numbers. The fucked up look he just gave. Man. Like, motherfucker, why is you sour? You choose to take this job. You know what come with it. He one of the new teachers. That's why he must be out here. Because I don't remember seeing him before. Oh, well. And I'm smelling all smoky from whatever the fuck they burning over here. Or cooking. I don't know. Got a barrel burning with some shit. And this barrel is like stoves. People forget about having stoves. Hey, CJ, what's happening? What do you get in the playoffs this year? I think the Warriors going to the finals. I ain't wavering from I'm not wavering from the Sixers and the Warriors. I'm not gonna waver from that. I'm still Sixers and Warriors because it's definitely gonna be the full Wilt thing. But like even the game last night with the Timberwolves, I showed the play to turn the game when it was a jump ball, which shouldn't have been a jump ball, should have been a foul, but it was a jump ball at the end of the game, and I showed that short. Look on my channel, look at that short, where the ball come to him and he volleyballs it off the backboard. He makes no attempt to catch it. He hits the ball in the air off the backboard. Now, when you want to possess the ball, you catch it. He never does that. He tips it behind him to give it to the Timberwolves. That was the deciding play right there. And what my son texts me, he was like, the Timberwolves act like they won the world championship. Well, the Timberwolves ain't won a playoff game. And I know it's a play-in, but technically it is a playoff because the loser wins, which people like that aspect of one and done. That's what makes the college game. I'm surprised. The NBA should have been adopted the college game of one and done. They should have been adopted that, where every team makes the playoffs, or if you want to have 25, whatever, but you have a playoff with everybody. I'll even say eliminate some of these series, make them all 3 games. Add more teams, make it 3 games. I would say add all teams and make everybody play 3 games. You know, they play 7 games for TV. But the baseball should play 7 games. The basketball only 80-some games. You're only talking about 30 more games than the college game. Well, probably 45 more games than what college has. So it would be way more exciting if they did one and done or 3 games and done in the NBA. They should have been did that. But they want TV money because the original series was 4 games. The original early playoff games, like watch Jordan when they beat Charlotte, is 4 games. And now they've stretched all of them to 7, and that's all for TV. That is all for TV. Hey, Greg, our best of 5. Hey, the Mac Files, Brother Edward. Hey, Tribe of the Matrix, what's happening? Thank you for joining. Hey, Greg Deep, best of 5. Now, it used to be the best of, it used to be the 3 out of 4. Yeah, if you won 3 games, you won it. I thought it was, well, maybe it was 5. Anthony definitely is playing the divine clown. I see that now. Ever since his mother died, he's been in the role. He's been before that. Watch. Now, again, I watch almost every Timberwolf game. And every Timberwolf game is, now that was considered a national game, so it was on TNT last night. So Peterson, and I forget the other dude, wasn't announcing. But I watch almost every game. I mean, almost out of 80, 85, 86 games? I watched all of them, but maybe 2 or 3 because they televise all the games. Towns is such a clown. When he shoots a layup, he always falls down. He always falls down to give the advantage to the other team. He does that consistently. If you see him going to the basket, he going to fall down, and it always sets up a disadvantage for his team. Always. And that is how he plays. And that is so ridiculous. So when I saw that stuff with his mother, you know it was a sacrifice for her. And he didn't win the National College Championship. That was AD. AD's team won the championship, not Towns. They got knocked out, wasn't the 8, I think. The Elite 8 that year, he was in college. And he plays the clown, fouling on purpose. I mean, it was so, like the refs didn't even want to call the shit when you see his first push off. You got 5 fouls, and you gonna really push off like that? And then his final foul, you going over the back? Made no sense. He had no chance at the ball. So, yeah, he's definitely the clown, the jester. And we see that every game. I can't stand. Yeah, he's a buffoon. Actually, yeah. Like, watch all the times he falls down, though, and it makes a disadvantage for the rest of the team. And then today showed Anthony Edwards should have made the All-Star team. That was bullshit they didn't make him, let him. It was like all them years they shunned Wiggins. It was years where Wiggins played for the Timberwolves. Wiggins should have made the All-Star team, and they held Edwards out. Edwards is a bigger J.R. Rider. He's a bigger J.R. Rider, stronger J.R. Rider. Again, if you see that shot, I showed manipulated. That motherfucking ball surely curved. Somebody said on the comments, it was like a knuckleball. I mean, that ball, like, give you an example. Later in the game, he shot a 3 and missed the whole backboard. And that shot was just like that. He shot it too hard. So when he scored them 3 games of 40, it was many manipulated shots. Now, not saying he didn't make some. I'll never say he didn't make some. And that's what you have to understand. But I stopped gambling after I couldn't see all the connection that he was going to win the 3-point contest. That was kind of a give me too, though. When I saw him in, I was like, yeah, he probably going to win it. Hey, thank you. Oh, man, Edwards is, as I said, we've seen players like that. J.R. Rider, very, very similar player. I mean, when Kevin Garnett, you look at one of his early interviews, he's like, shit. They asked Kevin Garnett what he felt about Michael Jordan. He was like, what are you talking about? I played with a Michael Jordan every night. That was his exact Kevin Garnett's word. Kevin Garnett and JR played together for about 3 years. And JR was a real motherfucker, shooting craps like on the sidewalks and shit outside the club. I mean, it was like, you throw the buddy down, like, oh, nigga, what's going on? Oh my goodness, he was a real one. He was a real one. I sat in the car with him where the car was like full of smoke. Like you couldn't even seen us. Like if I was showing this video sitting with this mug, the car was like Cheech and Chong. It was so much smoke. Funny motherfucker. I mean, I have not met too many people funnier than me. And this motherfucker, he had me laughing so hard my face hurt. I'm sitting there and he's just a silly nigga, man, but he's just funny. And he had my face hurt and he had me laughing. And then I think I was parked in front of him. My Bronco was, I had an OJ Bronco back then. I think I was parked in front of him because he saw me before I walked in the club, and he's like, hey, or I had just walked in. He's like, hey, let me talk to you and shit. And finally, we sat in the car for probably 3 hours outside the club. And finally, we hear the knock on the window, and it's the dudes the dudes that came in with me was like, damn, y'all been sitting out here the whole time? Oh my goodness, my face was hurting. He had me laughing. Chest was hurting. He had me crying. Just silly, like one silly joke after another, just talking about life. But Edwards is that kind of dude. Edwards is probably even, I think Jordan was slightly taller because Jordan really only about, I don't know, that picture of him and Tyrone, he appears 6'5", 6'4 and a half, 6'5". So Edwards, he might have Edwards a little bit. Dr. J was taller. Dr. J was 6'6". There's a picture of them together. You see one picture of them both bending over, but in the same shot, there's another picture of them standing up together. And Dr. J appears to be almost an inch taller than Jordan. And so Jordan, like, I bet Jordan and Edwards is probably maybe an inch, a little bit. But Edwards take everybody to the hoop. I mean, everybody. And that's how it is. That's Zion game. Take everybody to the hoop and you drop them off. Be like you take 3 people to the hoop and you drop them all off. I think, yeah, Kyrie's control, man. Look at the shoes. Look at the video I was showing his shoes. He got the Marduk eye on the back of his shoes. Even the ones that ain't got the strap. If you look at the back of the shoe got that Marduk eye. Kyrie gonna be controlled. If not, they would turn them into magnets off. But who knows? You can see by his sneaker design. Yeah, exactly. Pale Horse. Yeah. See, Pale Horse answered it. Yeah. I got the sneakers. I got the sneakers with the strap. I got them on the low. They was super cheap. And but I looked at people that's got the newer ones and on the back of the newer ones. So yeah, he ain't. It's like smudging before a game. You would do that in the locker room. You wouldn't do smudging out on the court. It's too much air. It's too much you trying to control. So you ain't. Let me amend what I said about that. The wickedness that goes into what they've done and how they corrupted the sacred ball court, the sacred ball game, you couldn't smudge that away. All you could do is smudge your personal self. So him taking it out there is for show. It ain't got nothing to do with really trying to clear shit. Guess that's the way I'll put that. It's got nothing to do with him trying to clear shit. It has everything to do with faking it. Hey, I'm looking at this rim. I wonder if it's busted. Looks like they hit it. It's like, damn, how does that, man? I would be scared to drive it looking at that condition. He's got kind of, if you could see multiple swastika designs at the angle, and one of them, like, they're so wide between the pleats, and one of them is like this. I'm like, ooh, the integrity of that tire can't be great, or that rim. But Kyrie speaks truth like Kanye and Trump. There you go. It's like as long as the steeple, you crazy to leash speak truth. You have a longer leash. Well, I can see that. Yeah, that's a little bit of knowing for sure. Because even in this illusion, like me and my son was riding yesterday, and he's like, well, you and I are but not really here. And that's absolutely right. We're not. I mean, even though we're sharing the moment, we are individuals floating through space-time. Like now, all of us sit here think we drive, and we ain't really. I mean, we are just sitting here in space-time. Really, we're not really in vehicles pushing us around. Not really. But You still have to deal with these moments. The moment keeps you together. I just wonder when we, every 7 years we reconstitute ourselves. But I just wonder in this matrix, how often we are actually maybe unconstituting us is really a way of controlling us. Instead of having every 7 years, if they constantly do it, they try to constantly reprogram you. So it just makes you wonder. But yeah, so it's like all truths are not all this rhetoric that comes from them. There are some truths because they have to give you some. Oh, and let me see. Gas was trading at 104. At one time, gold went up to 1980. It went up to 1980. I think it got down to 1970 something. Silver's back up over 25. Gas was at 104. Everything was up. S&P was up. Everything was up. There's a couple of things that I'll bring up this evening. They call it a SPAC, which is a type of penny stock, pretty much penny stocks. Stocks all under $10. But what they said is the people that put together the SPACs is the one that made money, and not the people that invest in them. I thought that was interesting. And just watching this to get these terms, it was a beautiful brother on Silva's channel last night, and he got to rapping about it. So I wanted to rewatch it. I'm gonna have to hit Silva up to get his name, because that brother was we don't I don't give trade advice. I just show you this, and this is how you have to look at it. Because normally when the stocks go up, you see the metals go down. Today everything went up, so it's interesting trying to gauge it. So, yeah, they should be coming out any minute. Spend a little time with my daughter. She's scared of worms, so she called me crying this morning. It had me all worried. And again, like I started with my case, when I take it off, it shuts my ringer off. And normally I catch it, but I just got suddenly tired last night. Oh, and I am doing a Chocolate Mountain show, 12 o'clock Central, so that'd be 1 o'clock Eastern. Sorry I do it so late, but this is just kind of what works for me. This seems to that seems to be my divine time, and so I just got to go with it. And yeah, it does tire me at times, but still, I look forward to it. I'm gonna start another short that I'll talk about tonight. So if you want to further hear my rap, and I've talked to a couple people that do want to come on. The one divine, or oh my goodness, I'm forgetting her name, but she wrote me, and some of her stocks hit. She was in this program, and I've talked to a couple people in this program. They was all able to pull money out of it. They've invested, and they were just able to pull money out of it a couple of days ago. Someone else hit me up that is invested in the same thing. And she's like, because it's been closed, it's been locked. So if anybody knows what that is, hers just hit the other day where she was able to pull money out of it. I'm going to be pissed again if he did not tell my daughter, and I ain't seeing her. And that's what happened yesterday. He didn't tell my daughter. That's why he gave me a little ugly look, and should have busted his ass out like, hey. So we'll see. I told you that dude had a fucked up attitude, and I don't see my daughter again. Now, he did the same shit yesterday. He saw me, and I still didn't see my daughter. And he wrote, because we have numbers and shit, and I still don't see her. So I'm going to close this. So thank you. Say less, everybody.